Well, vaccines are working to prevent severe illness. Given that, is it time to start rethinking how we're living with this virus, that it's potentially here to stay?
The overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. So really, these are people who were unwell to begin with. And yes, really encouraging news in the context of Omicron. This means not only just to get your primary series, but to get your booster series. And yes, we're really encouraged by these results.
Dr. Walensky, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
So, guys, that was the CDC director confirming what a lot of us conspiracy theorists have been saying for the past freaking 2 years straight since this whole pandemic begun. That people that were more susceptible to this virus was unwell to begin with. But apparently, instead of, getting people to like be more healthier, try to eat more healthy, try to be more fit, they act a lot of the people, especially from the left wing media, have been contributing to this whole body positivity, the whole obesity is healthy type thing. Even though over 60% of people that was hospitalized with this whole in the hospitals with the virus were obese. So again, this is the CDC directors clearly stating that over 75% of people who end up the number of deaths had more than at least four comorbidities. That could have been anything. But you have left-wing media saying that, it's healthy people as well. That is mainly healthy people get in the hospitals, but they wasn't actually being truthful to the whole story. So guys, the fact that left-wing media like CNN is actually coming out and actually trying to point this out, even though they're 2 years late. Yeah, they're 2 years late. The fact that they're trying to point this out, it just makes it even more fucking hilarious. So guys, let me show you this little clip from freaking Jake Tapper from CNN and I think Sanjay Gupta about how they felt about this. Let me go ahead and show you guys that.
So the hospitals are still stretched thin because of this, so I'm not trying to take away from that. But if 40% in some hospitals, 40% of the people who have COVID don't necessarily have problematic COVID. They're there because they got in a car accident. They're there because they bumped their head. And they're being included as in the hospital with COVID. That number seems kind of misleading.
Yeah, I agree, Jake. It surprises me that they have not been able to parse out that data more carefully. I think the data that Dr. Walensky is quoting is from New York State, and we've been following that data as well. And I can show you what we've seen, sort of tracks with what she said. But out of all the patients that are in the hospital, about 57%, these are COVID patients, admitted because of or complications from COVID, 43% admitted for other reasons and then diagnosed with COVID. I think, there needs to be transparency about that in terms of for or with COVID. The only thing I will tell you, Jake, again, working in the hospital, is that at the time someone is then diagnosed with COVID, even if they didn't come in for that reason, it does take up a lot of resources then in terms of infection protocols, personal protective equipment, more testing, all that kind of stuff. So even though that may not have been the initial impetus to bring him in the hospital, it just requires a lot of energy and resources on behalf of the hospital staff and the testing and all that sort of stuff. So we need to get better about being able to see this data. New York State, I think, is one of the few states that's presenting it that way, for or with COVID, but other states should follow suit. The American Health Association says they have a hard time sort of separating out that data, but clearly New York State's been able to do it. Other states should do it as well.
Yeah, it ain't take them nothing but two. It didn't take them nothing but 2 fucking years to actually point this out, when a lot of us have said, like, yo, they was escalating the numbers to with COVID or of COVID deaths. See, again, you had these people, you had people out here actually believing that, because some people died because of COVID, even though they got it in a car accident. No, for real. There are actually stories out here. Somebody got shot. COVID death. Somebody had a heart attack. COVID death. Somebody got a freaking a freaking head injury, and the head injury was too severe. Death from the virus. And the fact that the CDC, the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, is just now pointing this out 2 years later, even though they should have been on top of this from the get-go. And freaking left-wing media is trying to save face, acting like they ain't made no mistakes when it comes to this. Trying to be like, yo, what is going on with the freaking CDC right now? Like, why are they giving us confusing type? What's what I'm looking for? Why they giving us confusing guidelines and all that stuff? But let me not only just point out this fact. And the fact that Dr. Rochelle Walensky is out here, I don't know if it's because of Biden's poor numbers when it comes to how people see him doing with the economy, with the virus, how well he's doing it. Because right now his freaking numbers are pretty freaking low for a Democrat. At this point, I think they're more worse than Trump's. But guys, let me guys show you another video of Dr. Rochelle Walensky completely debunking the freaking liberal Supreme Court judge, Justice Sotomayor's statement about children in a hospital. Let me guys go in and show you that video as well, because I'm pretty sure this is her first time on Fox News, but I may be wrong here. But let me guys go and show you this video real quick.
You just heard about the U.S. Supreme Court currently deciding the fate of the president's vaccine mandates. In the questioning, Justice Sonia Sotomayor made this statement.
We have over 100,000 children, which we've never had before, in serious condition, and many on ventilators.
Now, we can find from Friday suggests there are fewer than 3,500 current pediatric hospitalizations from COVID-19. Is that true?
Yeah, but here's what I can tell you about our pediatric hospitalizations now. First of all, the vast majority of children who are in the hospital are unvaccinated. And for those children who are not eligible for vaccination, we do know that they are most likely to get sick with COVID if their family members aren't vaccinated. So the most important thing we can do for those children to keep them out of the hospital is to vaccinate them and to vaccinate their family members around them.
Understood. But the number is not 100,000. It's roughly 3,500. In hospitals now.
Yes, there are, and in fact, what I will say is, while pediatric hospitalizations are rising, they're still about 15-fold less than hospitalizations of our older age demographic. Our vaccines are working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission. So if you're going home to somebody who has not been vaccinated, to somebody who can't get vaccinated, somebody who might be immunosuppressed or a little bit frail, somebody who has comorbidities that put them at high risk, I would suggest you wear a mask in public indoor settings.
Again, we was called for 2 years straight. We was called conspiracy theorists, anti-science, anti-vaccine, all that stuff. But when they own, they own messiahs, they own gods, come out and point out the things that we have been saying for like 2 years straight. Now all of a sudden they want to say, oh, this is not what they meant. This is not what they're saying. Yo. We are some people on this platform and other platforms are literally telling you or showing you what Dr. Rochelle Walensky and the CDC is saying. She's the CDC director. She is the spokesperson for the CDC. So anything that she says, it goes with the guidelines. With how they changed the isolation guidelines. How they're changing the boosters, the vaccine shots and all that stuff. They are like, all that falls under her. She's the director. She's the spokesperson, but you would still have people out here claiming that this is not what she actually meant when she is literally stating the same exact things that the white ringers, if you want to put it that way, the libertarians or the independent guys have been saying all along. But what I'm actually getting here is that a lot of these people don't want to admit that they was duped for like 2 years straight. CNN's Jake Tapper stated that, yo, if they did this, then that means that they boosted the numbers. CNN is trying to come out here and save face because Joe Biden's numbers are so piss poor right now that they gotta act like everything they said before Trump left office, they didn't actually say. And yo, we like for real, bro. We got the receipts on y'all. Like, people want to act so damn blind and stupid, even though we got receipts about what the freaking left wing media has said, what Dr. Rochelle Walensky said. We have what Fauci said, the CDC said. We have the receipts about what they said, but you would still have people out here claiming that this is not what they said or this is not what they meant by what they said. Completely and utterly just keep blindly following the cult, the leaders, the messiahs, the gods, however you want to put it. Because again, right now at this point, it's a cult. It's a freaking cult. It's been a cult for almost 2 years now. Anything that goes on in this world, it has to be done by the CDC or the government rules. But again, guys, you can try to point this out. You can try to point this out, but they would still be blind to it. They would still be in the denial over it. And you will have, you know, platforms like this, like YouTube, try to censor people. But then we following what the CDC is actually saying. We are literally giving y'all quotes about what Dr. Rochelle Walensky said. She's the CDC. She's the CDC director. This is what they're saying. You guys just don't want us to come out and call y'all out on some of y'all bullshit. But guys, I'm just one opinion here. If you guys like I'm saying, like I'm subscribed, share this video. I will see y'all next one. Peace.